Today on the channel, we rock and roll, strut and stroll to another Big Rubber Guys unboxing. This time, Kerry Von Erich and Bruiser Brody.
And the spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel for another Collect Major Big Rubber Guys unboxing and review. And today on the channel, we got two of the heaviest hitters from the 1980s in Kerry Von Erich and Bruiser Brody. But for all your Kerry Von Erich, Bruiser Brody needs, not really sure right now, as these were a pre-order shipping right now from Collect Major. The order's the order. Obviously, there's other websites out there that maybe do pick up some stock that will sell it at a premium, as we do know. So at the end of the day, as we always say, vote with your wallet, get it on the pre-order, or maybe pay for it later, or maybe get a deal later. You never know. It's the old pre-order chicken, roll the dice, whatever you want to call it. But today I did get these two through the door. Of course, the Islanders also through the door. We'll do them in a separate video. But very excited to have these two here together. A little bit of a delay, a couple of months, 2 months, 3 months. What was it, Todd McFarlane? Go to the notebook over there. A little bit of a delay. We're seeing a lot of delays with a lot of companies as of late. I am hopeful for 2026 we clear up some of these delays from Collect Major, Power Town. I don't know. It kind of feels bad to put them in the same name. By no means are they anywhere by that. They're very receptive. You can check their website for tracking, all that kind of stuff. But hopefully all these companies get a little closer to their times. There's no delays. Delays happen. We get it. But hopefully less delays in 2026. We'll see what ends up happening. But we know what will happen in this unboxing. We're going to take a look at the packaging. We're going to talk about it. We're going to unbox it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to see where it goes from there. Let's go Bruiser Brody first. Why not? The old Bruiser, never in the WWE, WWF back in the day. They always said him and Hogan would have made a ton of money together. I'm sure they would have. Just a wild card if there ever was one with old Bruiser Brody. We also went to the same college. You knew that, Todd McFarlane. I knew you knew that. But Bruiser Brody looking pretty good here. A heavy figure as well. Does come with the chain. And it's just kind of rattling around in the package here. As we do know, these are removable from the package, though. But we got Bruiser Brody right here. Bruiser Brody, Collect Major, Big Rubber Guys. All kinds of stuff here. Not a toy. Ages 18 and up. You 17-year-olds, you can maybe drive a car. Maybe. You can't handle the Bruiser Brody. We know that. Nothing on the sides here. And then the back of the carton gets crazier every time we see it. Quite the checklist. But I'm here for a checklist. Always have checklists. And always be promoting your other wares. Kudos to the Major team on that. UPC down on the bottom. Pretty familiar packaging at this point here. As I've said, packaging is removable on these, so we know how that goes as well. Gonna slide Mr. Brody out. And gotta get the chain out, of course. A little plastic prison there. Happy to report no crack bubble. Nope, no cracked bubble. It's been hit and miss as of late. But no broken, cracked bubble. Now, I do save my packaging on this. I got to figure out exactly what I'm doing with that, as these do take up quite a lot of space, as we do know. But a gentle off to the side. See you later, goodbye. Let's dive into Bruiser Brody. Let's start off with this chain right here. Not a real metal chain. It is a plastic chain. I think it gets the point across. Obviously, plastic going to be lighter than regular metal. I know some would like probably regular metal. I'm sure you go to your hardware store and make one if you wanted to. But this works for me for what I need it for. Plastic chain looks fine. Spray painted with a nice gray color to it. Makes all the sense in the world. But now we got old Bruiser Brody. Not a bad piece of business right here. I got to say, if I had this back in the day, this feels like, I don't know about feels like, but looks like a pose we might have had from LJN. A nice playability feature. Of course, I always talk about this. And some people take me to task, Todd McFarlane. I can't believe it. But I always say, could I play with this? I put myself back into 6, 7-year-old Kyle. Could this be a good playability figure in LJNs back in the day? And heck yeah, it could. Be hammering out those fists, hammering out clotheslines, body slams, elbow drops, all kinds of stuff with this Brody. This definitely works for me. Got the big wild man hairdo, got the big bushy beard going on, got those crazy eyes that Brody had once upon a time. And then I'm very happy we got all the blade scarring up there. Really makes me want an Abdullah the Butcher Big Rubber Guy. That has to be in the plans for 2026, doesn't it? Doesn't it? Put that in the notebook too, Todd McFarlane. Would love to have an Abdullah to go against Brody. Seen Brody and Abdullah drop so much blood. They probably shared blood enough over the years, probably more than anybody else in wrestling, I'd have to think. But definitely looks really, really cool in the head sculpt. I would know this is Bruiser Brody, especially because of all the blade scars up there. Looking very nice. Now we do got the open hand, kind of that hand going on, the Huss hand. Him and, of course, the Berserker once upon a time. A lot of people took Berserker to task for copying a lot of Brody's stuff. Fur boots, anyone? But I'm sure somebody had fur boots before that. Oh, yeah, He-Man. He-Man had fur boots. I don't know. But we got the nice vest over the top as well. Obviously, all sculpted in here. Gray fur vest to match down with the gray on the boots. Got the high white socks with the black stripe. A hallmark of Mr. Brody once upon a time. Got the black boots as well. Always be branding. Got Major down here on the bottom. Looking very good. And then you got that elbow sleeve here. Always kind of a gnarly elbow sleeve. And same thing with the knee pad down here. Always looked like you never washed those things. They were always dirty from dirty mats and stuff. But definitely does work for me. There's no issues there. Now this chain, you can wrap around him. You can wrap around his arms. You can kind of really do whatever you want with this chain. You can choose your own chain adventure, dare I say that. But I do like this Brody. This is pretty darn good, all things considered. A great playability figure if that's your thing. Probably not a ton of people watching this. But once upon a time would have been a good playability figure and works on your collection right here. Works very good. It's a great representation of Bruiser Brody. I like this one a whole lot. But now we're going to turn our attention over to the modern day warrior. Yes, like a young Rush. Yes, like a young Geddy Lee. Yes, I'm going to go to the reunion tour this summer. I'm passing San Diego Comic-Con for Rush. I think that's what I'm going to have to do. I've messed around too long passing on Rush all these years. It's not quite the same. You know me, I'm a big John Rutsey guy. The real ones know that. Missed out on with John Rutsey, of course, but we'll see. I'm going to go to it. I'm planning on that. I got to go see Triumph Reunion. It's going to be all about Canadian rock and roll this summer for old Kyle. But I will be going to Rush in Chicago. I just got to figure out which one of those dates I'm going to go to. More to come, I guess. But, of course, speaking of Rush, you think of the modern day warrior. Kerry Von Erich, once upon a time, a Texas Tornado, an absolute favorite of little Kyle's once upon a time, and definitely a member of the greatest Survivor Series team of all time, as we do know. But we got the old Kerry Von Erich here. Would love a Kevin Von Erich to match this, and I would not be opposed to a repaint of this in some other trunks. Maybe yellow trunks would be pretty cool. Maybe green, maybe red. Who knows? And you could easily pretend this is the Texas Tornado if you wanted to as well. Kerry looking beautiful over here. Denton, Texas's own. And I was in Denton, Texas a couple of years ago, and I went to the Walmart, and I walked in there, I looked around, and I said, man, I bet the Von Erichs have been in this Walmart. And then I said, yeah, this Walmart looks like it's only a few years old. So probably not. But it was the thought that counts, of course. And then I went to the Buc-ee's not too far from there, Tom McFarlane, and I got myself a brisket sandwich, and my life was changed forever. Maybe, maybe not once again. You'll never know. But we got Kerry Von Erich here, the Texas Tornado in the future. Major, collect major, big rubber guys, all the usual hallmarks on the packaging. Looks decent in the package as well. Pretty in purple, nothing on the side. Got the huge checklist on the back once again. Any Easter eggs to the future here? Does not look to be any Easter eggs to the future. Nope, I don't see anything. Looking it over, trying to see. Sometimes they throw a new picture in there, somebody in the checklist. Not to be this time, not to be. But we're going to get Mr. Von Erich and Kerry Von Erich and Bruiser Brody know each other very well from the world-class days once upon a time. Looking pretty good there. I want to give a shout out to good friend of the channel, old James Jeffries, of course, independent wrestling legend in the Midwest, as we know. He's got to be ordering this. I'm sure he has this in his collection already. He's a huge Kerry Von Erich guy. But shout out to my old buddy James Jeffries. He's a real one. Off to the side. See you later. Goodbye. Let's dive into Kerry Von Erich here. Not a bad position either. I mean, I don't know if I really like the wide stance on this, but I don't hate it either. And this would be a decent playability figure back in the LJN days as well. There's all kinds of stuff you could do with this one. So I don't really have any problems with this. I don't think of Kerry Von Erich in purple, though, when I think of him. I think of the greens, and there was that yellow he wore once upon a time. Red, maybe black, white, of course. So purple's probably not high on my list, but once again, I don't hate it, and I would not hate a repaint of this in the future. Looking very good, though. Looking like Kerry Von Erich. Yeah, I would see Kerry Von Erich in that head sculpt right there. I'll never forget the day. I still remember it, the day I got the Texas Tornado Hasbro figure as a kid. A game changer back in the day is there was no internet to tell you things were coming out. You just went to the Target with your parents, and you see all of a sudden on there, oh my gosh, you see the first one on the peg, and it's a Texas Tornado. You're like, oh my gosh. And then you look through, and oh my gosh, it's this guy, this guy, this guy. So many instances of that as a little kid, seeing new characters, be it G.I. Joe, wrestling, whatever, all points in between. Such an exciting time that is really missed all these years later. Now it's like, oh, we got reveal images that are figures coming a year from now. That's kind of the equivalent, and it doesn't quite hit the same. I think most would agree on that. But Kerry looking very good here. Got the white shiny teeth, got the 2 fists of fury. He's ready for that discus punch. Watch out for that. As I said, purple trunks here, purple knee pads, purple wrist tape. And then he's got some barbershop style down here, a little flare down there in the boots, as we've seen him do that in the past. Not sure if this is the best color combination, but once again, I'm not an expert at him in his purple. This just feels like it doesn't quite match so well, but is what it is. White boots, red laces, collectmajor.com, big rubber guys, 2026 Major, all rights reserved, made in China, no Vietnam with this guy here, Major down on the other side. All in all, really good. You got a little Texas Tornado on the back of the tights as well. I think that looks really good, or trunks more like it. Looks really good. Is that something they didn't have to put on there? That's an extra deco hit that I don't know if anybody would have complained about if it was missing. I'm sure somebody would have, but not that big a deal to me. So a little extra attention to detail with that. But looking pretty darn good right here together. That feels right, and it looks like they're ready to square off in the old Sportatorium is what they're ready to do. But I did mention Kerry Von Erich, of course, Texas Tornado being part of the greatest. Yes, I said it. There's no denying it. There's no doubt in my mind, and you're never going to change my mind. The greatest Survivor Series team of all time. Of course, you had the Ultimate Warrior a part of that. We know we got Ultimate Warrior coming from Mattel sometime sooner rather than later. And then you do got big rubber guys. The LOD, did you guys check out my top 10 action figures of 2025 list? You might want to check that out if you missed it. But now we can reenact that Survivor Series team right here. We definitely have Demolition. We just need a Kurt Hennig or Mr. Perfect. Possibly, I guess that would be Mattel. Mattel would have to step up and give this, and that's a slam dunk if you ask me. Mattel really should make a Mr. Perfect one. I hope they end up doing that. We could reenact that right here on the table. Oh boy, watch out if that day does come. But pretty fun. 2 of the favorites here. I definitely know I will prefer these 2 to the Islanders. Nothing against the Islanders, but these 2 are a bigger part of my wrestling fandom than the Islanders will. And we'll talk about that. We'll do comparisons in that video as well. But pretty darn cool. I like the looks of these 2 here. Definitely must have for me in my collection. But what about your collection? Did you need these 2 in your collection? Before your time, past your time, what is it? Let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Turn on the old notification bell. We got videos every single day and then some. We got even more content for you, if you can believe it, over there on Patreon, YouTube channel memberships. Your best way to support the channel if you want to. SirPaul64 on the X, _Kyle_Peterson on Threads, Instagram, TikTok, and The Kyle Peterson Show at gmail.com, which is the name of my podcast, Kyle Peterson Show, every single Tuesday, wherever podcasts are found with video cast on YouTube. So for another round of Big Rubber Guys, I'm Kyle. See you guys all real soon.
Well, are we gonna dance or are we gonna play?
Yeah!